The Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki has postponed his visit to Australia this week, focusing instead on negotiating foreign troop levels. The sudden decision follows a massive demonstration in Baghdad over the weekend against the presence of U.S. forces. The UN mandate authorizing coalition forces in Iraq, including Australia's, expires in December.
The Iraqi Prime Minister's decision to postpone his visit to Canberra, where he'd been scheduled to arrive on Wednesday, was announced after his meeting in Baghdad with the new British Defence Minister John Hutton. They've agreed to open negotiations on an accord to include British troop levels beyond the expiration of the UN mandate. Prime Minister Gordon Brown announced in July that Britain would reduce its force in southern Iraq. The Iraqi Prime Minister, who met Prime Minister Rudd in Baghdad last December, was expected to hold similar discussions in Canberra this week. The Foreign Minister was contacted by the US Secretary of State, indicating that the postponement of Mr Maliki's visit was necessary to facilitate negotiations with the US.
Resolving the United States-Iraqi Status of Forces Agreement is of course very important in its own right, but it's also very important because Australia has its own interest in resolving Status of Forces arrangements with Iraq at the expiration of the United Nations mandate for Iraq.
Fulfilling an election promise, the government has withdrawn Australia's 550-strong combat force from southern Iraq, leaving behind 1,000 troops in support and training roles. Plans to extend the UN mandate for coalition forces are meeting fierce opposition. Supporters of the radical Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr demonstrated again yesterday, demanding the immediate withdrawal of US forces. A draft accord that would allow them to stay for 3 years is also meeting resistance in the National Security Council, which failed to approve it last night amid fears that without major concessions it will be rejected by the Parliament. Ross Cameron, World News Australia.